Hello, everyone.
Hello.
It's good to have you all here. Happy
Hello.
International Women's Day to all of you, lovely ladies out there, and to the entire community of language services. I hope everyone is doing well today, and we are all poised and ready to dive into today's session. I'd like to share a very powerful quote that resonates with the essence of our gathering today. So, Sarah Blakely once said that when you help a woman fulfill her potential, magic happens. And these words really encapsulate the transformative power of empowerment and the incredible outcomes that unfold when individuals or women are given the support and resources that they need. And so this year, the United Nations has decided to theme the International Women's Day Invest in Women, Accelerate Growth. And we at ALCA, in conjunction with the entire world, would also like to celebrate these women all over the world and in our industry. Today, we are here for the webinar that aligns perfectly with the statement Strategic Investment Empowering Women for Language Service Excellence. So, we're not just recognizing their work and their immense talent and capabilities within our community, but we are also looking for ways to actively contribute to the growth and fulfillment of every woman. We have wonderful panelists here who are all ready to dive into the discussion. And also, we have our wonderful keynote speaker, Christine, online. Yay. And so I'd like to briefly find out where you are joining us from. If you are joining us, you are in Africa here, kindly say so in the chat. If you're joining us from outside Africa, please do well to also indicate that we're excited you are here to join us. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome all our panelists, and I'd like to welcome our keynote speaker and you as well to today's session. Now, I'd like to give a brief about Christine. I'm so excited that she's she's not just an expert of sales and leadership development. As a sales leader and an international keynote speaker, Christine brings a wealth of knowledge and unique perspective to the table. She possesses a remarkable talent for helping teams get out of their own way. Through her strategies centered around action, resilience, and permission, Christine empowers teams to break through barriers and achieve their full potential. Her insights are not just theoretical. She's a goal-getter and she's very practical and she gives actionable takeaways. So I'd like you to take your pens, your jotters, get ready because we're really going to have an insightful session. Christine is really passionate and she's deeply committed to creating positive and productive work environments. And so without further delay, let's welcome Christine to the virtual stage. Christine, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I see we have a couple comments from people joining us from all over the world, as you would expect, since we are an international community by default. And I am really honored to ALCA for inviting me to be here with you wonderful ladies today on this very special occasion, both your inaugural event, your very first event, if I understand it, and also International Women's Day. So thank you so much. Is my audio clear and can you hear me okay? All right.
Yes, you're clear.
Awesome. Okay. So I am I am going to talk a little instead of share, because as I was telling them before, I wasn't sure how sharing would work. And as I go live on this platform often, I know sometimes there's glitches and delays, and I really wanted to mitigate any risks associated with that. But I do have worksheets. If you're new to hearing me speak ever, I love to give everything away for free. So anything that I know, I'm an open book, quite literally, and I'm happy to share with you. I have a way for you to access the worksheet after the call, and I'll make sure I just drop it in the LinkedIn and that they can send it to you. I can only obviously see the panelists, but show of hands, who here gets distracted by constant pings and notifications coming through on your phones and on your computers? Anyone else get notifications all day long? Yes. If you're watching us live, comment in the chat. I get notifications. Did you know on average we receive new notifications every 1 to 2 minutes? That's crazy to me. We're getting them from Slack, from Teams, from email, from Facebook, from Instagram, from TikTok, from WhatsApp, from text, from Telegram, from our boss, from our teams. We are getting distractions and notifications everywhere, every 1 to 2 minutes now. And I don't know about you, but I am looking to clear the noise, right? So let me know if this happens to you, because this happens to me all the time. Like, I'm really focused on a task. Let's say I'm sending an email to my team. I'm recapping a meeting we had. I'm emailing with a client, for example. And all of a sudden, I get a notification on my phone, a WhatsApp message from a friend, or even at worst, because my kids are young, I get a call from school, right? It could be anything. And so I stop what I'm doing and I look at the notification, or I pick up the phone call because it's probably important. And then as soon as that's over, I go back to it, right? I finish typing the email. But 1 minute later, somebody goes live on LinkedIn, right? And all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, that's a topic that I never knew I needed to know all about. So I tune in to the LinkedIn Live event. Here's what happens next. I'm like 30 minutes deep watching cat videos on YouTube, or the cute bunny that just hopped outside my window. So constantly being notified. One day I was scrolling social media, comparing my behind the scenes to everyone else's highlight reel, and feeling stuck like a truck in mud, like they say. And the screen goes black because my phone dies, and it's as if a light bulb went off. Distractions are tanking my productivity and making me feel like I'm living constantly in a comparison trap. I realized I had become so distracted by these distractions, and that I had started to prioritize these distractions, no matter where it came from, right? I immediately looked, literally like the rabbit, apparently, that's living at my house because he just hopped around outside my window. And isn't that so cute? I should get up and go see what he's doing and if he needs a carrot. Okay. But the bigger problem is these distractions and notifications are slowly destroying my productivity, because day by day, it's taking me away from my focused effort. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today, how taking action now, taking action is actually our superpower. Okay. So I knew I wasn't living my best life by being distracted by all of these notifications. I wasn't showing up as my best self to work. And what happened was I immediately became obsessed with moving the needle to eliminate distractions. So my personal mission became clear: eliminate the distractions to move the needle. Now, once I finally did this, I read every self-help book there was. I personally invested money, my heart, my soul into and like figuring out into help how to like figure this out, how to get out of my own way. And from there came, as she introduced me, it came my best-selling book, Be a Better Sales Leader. I created a thriving consulting practice overnight. I've collaborated with so many people inside and outside of our industry, including being here today to keynote. And I created an online growth and fulfillment community where I currently coach leaders and people looking to climb the corporate ladder every week in a closed door session. So finally, by getting rid of distractions, I was able to create true action and momentum and initiative, because things in motion tend to stay in motion. And I genuinely created a snowball effect. So if it's okay with you, what I want to do today is teach you the main strategy of this. I do talk about this at greater length when I have more time, where I talk about not only action, but I talk about building resilience, i.e. failing forward. And I also talk about the fact that we have permission. But I only have about 10, 15 more minutes left. And I really want to dive in and give you some actionable strategies, like she said, and then leave you with this worksheet. So I know I can't see you, but we're starting to see some comments come through on the chat. So give us some yeses. Hello, everybody joining from all over the world. I absolutely love this. Okay, so here are some strategies that you can use right away if you're like me and you're getting notified by distractions and notifications on your phone and on your computer every other minute. I'm going to give you 3 strategies today, if that's okay. And then I'm going to show you a worksheet and I'm going to leave it with you. Okay, so the first strategy would be, so it sounds kind of simple, but does everybody, whether you have an iPhone or not, you know how to access the do not disturb mode or airplane mode even? They make it pretty easy. It's kind of like one and the same, right? One thing I started to do, and this is the ninja strategy, right? You have permission to put your phone on do not disturb. Okay, let's try this and see if it works. Everybody tell me in the chat, and we're on a delay here, so I'll keep talking and I'll wait. But tell us in the chat, are you most productive morning, noon, or night? And the panelists, since we have a private chat, why don't you tell me in the private chat if you're most productive morning, noon, and night? Morning, noon, or night? Morning, noon, or afternoon? Like, when are you most productive during the day? And let me tell you why I'm asking this, and then we'll see if there's any comments that come through. So you have permission to be your most productive in your most productive time, right? I'm already seeing comments in our private chat that somebody is a morning person and somebody is a night owl. I love that. And thank you. There are comments coming through now. Christiana, there's a way actually to show the comments across the screen too. So we're seeing morning person, night, morning, most productive at night. We're all different. That's the point, right? So you have permission to honor when you're most productive. I want you to think about putting a 2-hour time block on your calendar for when you're most productive, okay? And we all work all types of crazy hours in our industry because we're working literally with colleagues and clients around the world. Typically, I mean like in your normal work day, but because my kids are 5 and 3, and I'm really trying to hustle for all the right reasons right now, I really do find myself sometimes at 8 o'clock at night when my kids are in bed getting more work done, right? You also have to honor the season of life you're in. I too, I'm a morning person. So Paolo, I'm right with you. Satu, I'm right with you. I'm seeing these comments come through. I'm a morning person, but I'm up anyway at 5 a.m. because of my kids. So you have to honor what your season is. But as it would look for me, 8 to 10 a.m. would be my most productive time, right? And so block your most productive time off on your calendar. And that's when you're going to tackle that pesky to-do list that continually creeps up and you push things off till tomorrow, because all of a sudden something's really important one day and it doesn't get done that day, and it becomes a little less important as the days go on, and then all of a sudden you forget about it like a few days later, even though it isn't not important. So if you have permission every day to block off 1 to 2 hours on your calendar for when you're most productive. And what I want you to do is I want you to put your phone in do not disturb mode, so that you are not distracted by the notifications. Does that make sense? Again, I can't see you guys, but give me some yeses in the chat, right? So I want you have permission. So that's strategy number 1. Oops, I just lost you. That's strategy number 1. Okay. Put your phone on do not disturb. And then strategy number 2 is block off time on your calendar. Now, I teach this strategy a lot because I think it's so important. Leaning into taking action. Here's what I'm going to leave you with before I give you the last and final strategy. Leaning in to take action, putting one foot in front of the other. Whether, tell us in the chat, are you in sales? Are you in program management? Are you an account manager? Are you a leader? Are you a CEO? What's your role in the chat? One would argue we are all in sales, right? You might not want to hear that. I was brought in to coach a lot of language service providing companies and other companies alike, to coach on a seller's mindset, because everyone in some capacity or another in all companies is in sales. Now, salespeople, we have to do phone calls and we have to send emails and we have to, there's a lot of initiative we have to build in order to move the needle. But project managers, program managers, people in operations, you too have to respond to clients in a timely manner, probably try to upsell or cross-sell your services, handle the complaints as they come through, deal with your cross-functional colleagues. All of this takes a certain amount of action. Can you guys make me a promise today that as of now, you're going to decide to focus, operate with a sense of urgency? Urgency is like the ninja strategy to taking action that you never knew you always needed. One of my former a friend of mine and one of my former direct reports would say, if something can be done within 10 minutes, do it now. So there's an entire strategy of, we tend to put things off. And not only are we putting things off, but we're being bombarded in the meantime by all of these notifications. So you have permission to block your phone and turn off notifications, but I want you to have a laser vision focus to getting things done, to taking the urgency, and when things need only 5-10 minutes to do, to not put it off to later. So thank you for all the support in the chat. Let me know if that resonates with you. And to wrap up, here is my last strategy for taking action now. Action is our superpower. I'm like, if I can lead you down a path of building resilience and a strategy 2 or 3 that's going to help transform you into taking more action, then this will have been worth it for me. So this last strategy, I just started sharing recently, so you guys are amongst the first to ever hear it. It's called meeting stacking. I want you to think about the meetings that you have on your calendar, the regularly scheduled meetings. As a leader, for me, that means I have a ton of one-to-ones every single week that I have to do. And I also have team meetings, okay? I want you to think about not only your most productive time of the day, because if you're a leader, also say leader in the chat if you're leading teams. If you're a leader, you have to deal with everybody else's calendars and what they have going on in their life. But I want you to take the strategy back to your team. And even if you're not a leader, if you have a one-to-one with your boss, I want you to consider this and talk to your boss today after this call, which is, can we move all of our one-to-ones to be on the same day in the same time frame? There is neuroscience, cognitive function. Our brain function suffers when we are constantly shifting from one task to a different task, and when there are awkward gaps in our calendar. Does this make sense? So like if there's a 30-minute gap in our calendar, actually we get less done than if we would just stack the same type of meeting back to back to back. You have to still plan in your meetings for getting work done afterward. And you have to have a sense of one strategy I learned from Anna Schlegel. She's the co-founder of Women in Localization. I worked with her, for her at NetApp for a minute in her globalization team. And one thing I learned was, can you tackle the things that you're talking about in the meeting, the action items that you're assigning everybody? Can you tackle them in the meeting instead of leaving the meeting to go do other things? If you ever saw Anna's calendar, you would be blown away. She literally, in the days I was working with her, had somebody supporting her that half of that person's entire job was to manage Anna's calendar, because she was double, triple booked almost every hour of the day. And it was like an orchestration of like various events that she was being invited to speak at, and or things she needed to do to move the needle within her company. And so she didn't have time when she left the meeting to do the work from the meeting. So she would often pause as the leader in the calls or in the meetings and say, can we do it now? And people, that would mean like people were stopping to type the emails. They were not multitasking. They were doing the thing from the meeting right then and there. That way you could leave the meeting, not with another pile of to-do lists, but also having a sense of accomplishment to move the needle. So if it takes 5 or 10 minutes, do it now. And when we move from meeting to meeting to meeting, right, there's a sense of urgency and inertia that we're building. Now, you need to eat, you need to find time to use the ladies' room, right? But ultimately, if you are a leader, like some of you are in the chat and some of us are here, if you put all of your one-to-ones on one day and then put them almost back to back to back to back to back, you're able to actually have more productive time. You're going from one-to-one to another. They should be following a similar format, right? And ultimately building momentum for you, and then getting things done within those meetings versus pushing it off, brainstorming, sending specific emails, helping your teammates if you're a leader. And then now, like me, I stack my one-to-ones every Monday. And so then I have the rest of my week to do the other meetings that come up. Okay. So I highly encourage you. Taking action is your superpower. Let me quickly share. Hang on one second. I want to first share this, and then I'll show you my, so see if you can, this is the problem with, okay. Now let's see this. Let's see if you can share this on the screen, so they can see it. Okay, very cool. See if you can scan this QR code and then type in the word ALCA, ALCA. You're going to get like a 6-page worksheet. There is a small survey that's attached to this because I couldn't figure out another way to get this to you guys like live. But as you might know, I'm on a mission to get my message in front of more people as possible. So if you click through the survey real quick and or answer it, that would be helpful. I'm going to also share the worksheet right now. So scan the QR code and then I'll share the worksheet, but the worksheets are attached to the back of this. It's a free giveaway. And then let me just share one other screen and then I will wrap up if that's okay. Here we go. Let me show the worksheets. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for being here today. Okay, do you want to share this on the screen? And then, okay, so this is what the worksheet looks like. Taking action is your superpower. It walks you through reflecting on some goals and how to break down your goals into specific steps so that they don't feel very big, that they feel very small. And then obviously things are standing in our way at any given time. A lot of times we call that imposter syndrome, right? But it's simply things that come up. You know, our boss or our CEO or our direct report might say to us that there's an urgent client matter or that they want us to work on a new project or program. So naturally, not all notifications or distractions are bad. It's just, how do we prioritize things? And ultimately, how do we get out of our own way so that we have a path moving forward? So that's what the second half of this worksheet is going to look like. And then to leave you, I left you with a bonus worksheet on, habit stacking. So daily habits, getting out of your own way. And I think there's like a bit of a internet issue on my end. So I'm going to stop sharing. And I hope that was helpful. Back to you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Christine. This was really helpful. And I'm sure that we can all attest to the fact that they are actionable points. They are key takeaways. They are things that you immediately have to start doing. Did we all get to copy the QR code? If not, Christine, could you share the QR code again? Because I couldn't get it. It was a bit too fast. Could be all. Okay. So here we have the QR code again. Kindly scan it and yes. Okay.
Yeah. And I'll also just make sure they have, at the 11th hour, when we were prepping, I threw this together because it is at the end of the survey. It's about 2 minutes.
Right.
It's a place to get the worksheet right away. But we'll also make sure everybody can just have the worksheet. I think that would be good.
Okay. Fantastic. All right. I think we've all got it now. So thank you so much, Christine. This was really insightful. And I'd love to read your comments on the key takeaway points in taking action now that Christine has shared with us. You can share that in the chat. And Christine, thank you. This has been really good, and we are so excited about this. And so, right on, we are moving to our panel discussion. And I hope you can all see we have our panelists ready and poised to begin the discussion. I'd like to start with Adi. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And in just a minute, just tell us a little bit about yourself. And then we'll move to Lexi, Sharon, and Rebecca. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christiana, and greetings once again to my fellow panelists. So my name is Adina Maran Kulibali. I am operations manager and co-founder of Bolingo Consult, which is a language services company based in Africa. We are based specifically in Ghana and in Rwanda. I would say I'm a feminist, as my description accurately mentioned, and I have been featured also in multilingual magazines, Women Driving the Language Industry, a few years ago. Thank you so much. And I'm really glad to be able to celebrate and mark this day with all of you. I'm also a board member of ALCA. So really glad to be here. Thank you so much and looking forward to the conversation.
Thank you, Adi. You're welcome. All right, Lexi, Sharon.
Thank you very much, Christine. And good afternoon to you all once again. Can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, so my name is Lexi Sharon Ofori, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bureau of Translation and Interpretation. So we specialize in translation and interpretation and other language services. I am a translator, a rapporteur, and a transcriber. Aside translation, I also do research. And so I work with Kanta and to research and interviewing. I have been featured in the Mirror as a thriving translator. And so over the years, it's been 18 years down the line, and I think it's been a great experience. I'm glad to be on board to discuss today's topic. Nice meeting you all.
It's an honor to have you, Lexi Sharon. Thank you so much for joining us. Rebecca.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. And then good afternoon to all those who are listening to us and watching us. So I am Rebecca Agri. I am a freelance translator and a language officer for Kabul Group. So Kabod provides consulting and training services in research and knowledge management. You equally provide services when it comes to e-learning and also providing language services like interpretation and translation from English to French and vice versa, Portuguese and other 30 African languages. We are also the co-founder of ALCA and also have launched the marketplace for African language and translators and interpreters, which helps to ease access to jobs and also helps provides consulting opportunities for translators and professional language professionals around the world. So thank you for having me.
Right. Thank you so much, Rebecca. We're so glad you could all join us. Now, let's start from the very beginning. Our theme for today is strategic investments, empowering women for language service excellence. I think that prior to the meeting, I had a comment that our theme is really packed. And I think that's about right. We have a really packed theme, and I'd like for us to break it down. So, Adi, if you'd like to begin, we'd be so glad. Can you tell us what you think about the theme and what you think about strategic investment? When you hear strategic investment, what comes to mind? Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So for me, I think it means deliberate investment that we are able to allocate, or resources that we are able to allocate to a particular sector or a particular target group. And when it comes to investments in women in our industry, I would say it entails a lot. I mean, most obviously, the first is financial investment, right? The commitment that we make financially. And then there are a lot of other things. And I think two of them is ways of working, being able to ensure that our ways of working accommodate women from all fields of life. And then also, aside that, which is also linked to the work culture, right? We have to have a work culture that actually enables open communication, enables people to really feel at ease. That is not, I would say, in quotes, patriarchal, right? That is not dominating or extremely strict. And so these kinds of environments are really important. And then there are also other forms of investment that we can do, such as training. And I would like to commend Women in Localization. They have a mentorship program where women are able to support other women in terms of career guidance in the language industry. So for me, that's very laudable, and I hope that one day I'll have the opportunity to also join this mentorship program and support other young women that are also coming up in our industry. So these are some of the ways that I think, the theme is really important, and I'm glad that we are discussing this particular theme on this special day. Thank you.
Thank you, Adi. So, Rebecca, what would you like to add to it in terms of defining strategic investments? Are you only thinking about financial investments, or tell us? Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the floor. I think it actually exceeds financial investments. There are so many ways where we can invest into women, and one of them is through mentorship. And Adi mentioned it because I know I've benefited from mentorship. It was through mentorship that I got a chance to even think of pursuing a course in translation, because after my undergrad, I was wondering, as a language student, I've studied French, so what's next? And I know there are so many of my colleagues and classmates who are watching and who equally pursued modern languages and were wondering what to do next. So I think investing in mentorship is also a very critical aspect of empowering women, which will equally bring about, a return on the investment at the end of the day, because I'm here as a freelance translator now, based on mentorship.
Great. Thanks for sharing your personal experience. And yes, I'm glad that your friends are also here watching and learning. So, Lexi Sharon, we're still talking about strategic investments, empowering women. Earlier, we had a conversation where you you were sharing with me a practical example, something that actually happened. Could you share with us, or can we hear from you how one was able to rise from, um, you know, an entry level position to a very high position? Please share.
Okay, thank you very much. And so before I share that story, I, in my own opinion, think strategic investment is purposefully allocating the resources that we have into opportunities that aligns with companies' objectives or the industry's objectives, aiming to enhance language-related capabilities and to foster overall business growth. So I think as women, we can also invest in skill development programs. Okay. And that is where I will bring in the story of an intern. An intern who worked with us for 6 months. She started off as an intern. She studied translation. During the process, I realized she was struggling, but she was willing to learn and develop. So at every step of the way, she asked for feedbacks. And that was something I found very commendable, to want to have feedback, whether it's positive or negative, so you can also improve. After her internship, she requested if she could stay and then do a graduate internship as an work as a graduate intern. I found that intriguing because she could have just left and said, okay, I'm done with my internship. During her graduate internship, she noticed I was always engrossed in my work. So she requested one day, can I be your personal assistant? So I could be jotting down things and organize things for you. That was she spotting an opportunity right there. And she aligned it to her goal. Her goal is to become a translator. She wants to advance her career. So she picked that opportunity and aligned it. While working for me as a PA, we were going for conferences together and she was gathering experiences. I remember there was a day I was supposed to do rapporteuring, but then I didn't have the time to. I asked her, can you? She said, I haven't tried, but I'm ready to try. And that is someone who is willing to learn and develop a skill. At the end of the day, she did. I wasn't busy. I just wanted to see if she was willing to learn. So I went together with her. We went through a training, a 3-day training, and then I groomed her into how she can be a good rapporteur. At the end of the conference, she produced a very good report, and I was really impressed. She still even asked for feedbacks because on that day I was impressed. I said a lot of things she could have just said it's positive, but she still requested for a feedback.
Wow.
Because she wanted to develop. She wants to see how she's progressing at every step. And that is what I found very interesting. And that is what we call investment. She is investing her time because during those times, she wasn't being paid. There were bonuses, but she was investing her time. And today, she is the operations manager.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
that's how she has advanced. And she had added on from being a translator and added on rapporteuring. Now she can transcribe, she can go for rapporteuring jobs in my absence. She
Wow.
can handle clients in my absence. And so I have seen such transformation through strategic investment. And this is a young lady who spotted an opportunity, aligned it with her goals, and it enhanced her linguistic skills. And to me, this is how practical investment can be.
Okay, Alexis Sharon, that's a wonderful example. So some of the things I'm hearing are the willingness of the person or the lady to actually submit to the training process, or should I say the mentorship process of learning from you, and your willingness and your ability as well. So I see that it's not just a one-way street. Both of you were involved in actively making this happen. Yes,
Exactly.
and I think that that's really impactful. Thank you so much for sharing. So
Thank you.
still on the impact, can any of you share a negative experience where, unlike what Lexi Sharon has shared with us, telling us that someone actually rose from an intern level to an operations manager, which is very huge. And might I ask, Lexi Sharon, how long ago was this? I mean, the period, the duration from intern to operations manager level, how many years did it take?
It didn't take years, it took months.
Months. Oh wow.
Yes. It took 11
Okay.
months.
11
Yeah.
months. Wow,
Yes.
that's really incredible. That's a
Yeah,
fast
because it was
track.
very efficient.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it was how she was able to grab the intricacies of the operation process that we use in the company. So I think it was just her ability to, acquire the skill and all that.
okay. So you can share in the comments session with us if you've had any experience like this. This sounds like a very fast track thing from I mean intern to operations manager within 11 months. That's incredible. Adi, would you like to add something or share a negative experience?
Yeah, thank you very much. So I don't have any negative experience per se. I would say that for the past 5 years since we've been in business, usually if someone is not able to continue working with us, it's because the person's work ethics or maybe knowledge of the work does not really align. Like it's not really compatible with what we're doing. So in that case, we have to amicably part ways. But I wouldn't say that that has been a negative experience. But just to also share an experience based on what Lexi has said. Yes, we've also had, for us, we always like to start with interns that we train. And whilst we are training, we, of course, are assessing the person's qualities, capabilities, especially for PM roles, project management roles. And so when we assess, we try to see which person's skills align with, the role, how are they able to quickly um, adapt to various circumstances, being responsive, being smart. There are so many things to think about. And so when we do that, then we are able to actually choose someone. So we had one, we had one at one time we had two interns coming in, and then we chose one to work with us, and she's been with us since, and she's really been amazing. Like she's doing an amazing job, and it's so nice working with her. And for us, we are really proud because then we see that the internship time has really been meaningful and has been impactful. And yeah, so it's for me, I really think that having interns is an amazing thing because it helps the intern to learn, and it also helps you as a business to analyze and see if the intern skills or knowledge actually aligns with your business.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Adi. So, Rebecca, let's look at building an inclusive environment. Um, how do you think strategic investment can contribute to building an inclusive working environment for women or for ladies in this industry?
Thank you for giving the floor once again. So, I think when women are invested into, I mean, it will open a lot of doors for them to be able to pick up so many things, especially if they are given the opportunity to participate in things related to the language field, as we are talking about. Like, I want to even make it much more practical in the sense that there is a woman who wants to pursue languages, who wants to go further in the field of languages, but does not have the financial capability. And here is the case: we are looking at building women, empowering them, so that at the end of the day, they can also become ones that we can have a return on them. So in a case where now there are scholarships available for language programs, I remember when I started chasing this dream of mine in languages, there weren't those kind of opportunities. But now you realize that there are those kind of opportunities for women to pursue language courses, and then they come into the job scene, and then they are included as translators. They are going out there, they are translating, and it's so inspiring. Look at Lexi here. I've been following her on Instagram, and I've seen how far she has transformed. And anytime I see, I mean, programs being organized by Bureau of Translation, I'm so impressed because this is a woman who is out there doing great, and it's all because she was given that opportunity. I mean, she was given the space to be able to flourish and then blossom. Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. The spotlight is on you, Lexi Sharon. It is wonderful to know that people are actually following your growth and your growth patterns. So, yes. Thank you so much. And now, so I want us to still talking about building this inclusive environment. It is there. How do we do it in 2024? How do we want to build this inclusive environment in this industry for women to grow? Would you like to share, Adi?
Yeah, thank you very much. So before I talk about that, I want to say that women ourselves, we have to learn to invest like in ourselves first of all, because when we invest in ourselves and their opportunities, we are easily able to grasp those opportunities. And investing in ourselves mean like kind of reinvesting whatever we get. So if you're, for instance, if you're a freelance interpreter and you have some money, you have to kind of reinvest by getting maybe the best gadgets or the best headsets and things like that, so that when you are working with a company, you don't have these internet challenges, issues. You're able to manage them like they are not consistent, right? So I think that's very important. Investing in ourselves to be able to grasp the opportunities. So, in terms of being inclusive, I would say it starts first of all from a company's policies. We need to have policies that are women friendly. For instance, things like maternity. One time, there's something that came to mind because usually when I'm at the office and I am in my menstrual period. Like it's so painful, and I'm like, God, I mean, I could have had a holiday today, right? Like, and I'm just thinking about all the other women at the office and how they feel on their period. Like honestly, it's a time when you feel so much pain. You wish that you could be resting at home because you are not really productive anyway. So I was like, why don't we have a a period, a day off or something when you're in your period. Like, so these are some of the things that's interesting. And as a woman, you get to really feel these things because you are a woman and you are the one that you experience it. And so it's your lived reality, right? You can't just do away with these things. So it's your lived reality. So company policies that are really favoring women and someone says period free day. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, being really inclusive of women. Let me give an example of how inclusivity helped me back in the days when I wasn't yet an interpreter or into the language industry. So I had just freshly given birth to my daughter. I think she was a few months old, and I had this job as an editor of a health magazine. And luckily for me, the owner was he was very open, and so he was open to me coming to work with my daughter. So I would come to work with her, and she would be with me in the office, and I would attend to her and also attend to people that came to see me at the office. And for me, that period was really important because it helped me to work, right? To also support the family, to work, and also to bond with my daughter because otherwise then I would have had to maybe leave her somewhere else. And so, I mean, for me, I really appreciate thinking back at that period and how that person was really open to that. I really appreciate it. So moving on, I spoke about policies. The second thing is our hiring approach, right? Making sure that we're able to hire in a way that favors women. Let me give an example. For instance, if you're hiring and you have an age limit, you could increase it for women. Let's say if the age limit is 50 years, I think you could add 5 years for women because you understand that there are some things that kind of slow us down a bit. There are some periods of life that kind of slow down women a bit. So doing these things can be really, really helpful and help women to move on. I also think that another thing that is interesting that people have spoken about so much is equal pay for the same work. And so if women and men are doing this, are occupying the same role, same qualifications, same job descriptions, there is no reason why the pay should be different. And I checked some recent data and they said, for instance, that globally, the pay gap currently between men and women is 16%. So women are earning 16% less than men globally. And for Africa, it's even lower, right? For Black women, it's even much lower. And so these are some of the things that we need to think about and ensuring that we are inclusive in many ways and also ensuring that we as women company owners or as women founders, we are in a position to change things or contribute positively. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adi. That was really elaborate and very, very insightful from policies. And I like the touch of your personal experience and the fact that you were included and you were given the opportunity to grow. That's really fantastic. Hello, Helga. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad you could make it. Hi.
Hi, good morning. How are you? Hi,
How are
Adi.
you?
I'm good,
Hi.
thank you. Hello, ladies. Hi, Kristen.
Great. Thank you so much. We're so glad you're here. And so we're going to continue the conversation. And I know Helga just came in, but I know she's really, really bent on talking about building an inclusive environment. So Helga, I know you want to share on that. Can we hear your take on it, please?
Yeah, sure. Let me share that on you. It is very interesting. I just want to quickly, for those who may not know me, just in short, I'm Helga Walker, and I'm part of the leadership team of Global Growth and Diversity Program that's within Women in Localization. And it's an initiative dedicated to expanding our community that's into new territories, advocating for diversity at every level. And that's by creating an inclusive space where diverse voices can thrive, and we pave the way, for greater collaboration and industry advancement. So, just a quick background on women in localization. Um, so let me just get my notes, Christian, then I can do that for you. It's nice to see everyone. It's just sorry, ladies. When you had something just now, and when you look for it, it's gone.
Okay.
There we
Are
go.
you
There
good?
we go. Thank you. Found it.
Okay.
So, exploring the vital topic of building inclusive work environments with a focus on supporting women in the workspace or workforce. Um, I've got a few key strategies that fosters diversity, equity, and then on inclusion. These are challenging assumptions in talent acquisitions, inclusive hiring practices, providing opportunities for growth, flexible benefits, and employee resource groups, and then also very importantly, mentoring programs. Um, so that is just in short. Do you want me to go into detail, Christiana?
No, not now. We would circle back and then take those points again. But we're so glad you could join us, and we're so happy that you could share on building an inclusive environment. We want to talk about technology. I mean, there's a lot of buzz on technology, and Rebecca, I would like you to start that conversation for us. Would like to hear from you. How do investments in technology, and I think that this question is really important right now because we're in this era. There's machine learning. It's all over. We are trying to find our way around it. But let's talk about investment in technology, and let's talk about the fact that how do these investments in technology and skill development programs benefit us as women. And
Okay.
if you could give us a practical example, it helps. Thank you.
Okay. So I would say that how technological investments help in developing women, one could be expanded opportunities. So now that we have, I mean, artificial intelligence, we have so many softwares being developed. We have, I mean, technology around. It helps women to be able to now work remotely, have access to remote work. So, for instance, myself, I'm working as a remote worker for Kabul, and this has helped me to be able to balance my professional life and private commitments. So you realize that technology in itself is not bad. When we invest in technology for women linguists, you realize that they have that opportunity to be able to expand, to have access to so many opportunities. And apart from that, you realize that it increases efficiency. Now there is translation, and there are CAT tools, computer assisted translation tools, where translators can use to be able to facilitate and then expedite their translation work. So when investments are put into those aspects in technology, I mean, it helps in developing the skills of women and also increases their opportunities for remote work.
Great. Thank you so much. Would you like to add something, Lexi?
Okay, let me quickly add enhanced career opportunities. I recently joined a specialization program online. So that's what technology can do. I'm here in Ghana, but I'm able to acquire knowledge somewhere else. And so it equips women linguists with the latest tools and knowledge, enhancing their competitiveness and opening new and advanced career opportunities within the language industry. So, yeah, that's what I want to add. I
Okay, that's
think I
great.
could also add contribution to innovation. Now, a lot of people are introducing different ways of going about things or running businesses thanks to technology. We are also able to connect with each other. What we are doing right now, we would
Yes.
network after, and then we can build our businesses after thanks to technology. So that's what technology has done for us in recent times.
Great. So, thank you so much for sharing all of this. Um, I, I think that we can move to the chats. Kindly share your thoughts in the chats. Let's read your comments. Let's read your questions. We want to know what you think about this topic, and the fact that we want to empower women in this industry. Let's hear from you, please. Let's talk about measuring return on investment. You see, so I get it. We've spoken about training, we've spoken about mentorship, you have shared personal experiences. But you see, all these investments must come back some way, somehow, to you, the investor. How do we measure the investment that we do in terms of skill development for women or empowering women? How do we do this? Can you please share something in this regard, Helga?
Yes. Thank you, Christiana. There's a lot of ways and strategies, and I think everyone is looking at it from your own experience, your own background. It also, I think, your person's culture, the way even you grow up's got actually got a plays a role. It's got an impact, especially when I've got younger children. Who is one of my children is starting the adult world now, and that is one thing that she told me this weekend, that she realizes. So, getting back to your question, I think, like I've mentioned, when you look at challenging assumptions in a talent acquisition, you know, um, we start by challenging assumptions in talent acquisitions. It's a crucial to evaluate skills objectively. I think that is also a big challenge, and to assessment processes and unbiased to create equal opportunities for all candidates. And I think that it needs to be being the unbiased part that I've mentioned, and inclusive hiring practices. Adopting inclusive language in job advertisement can also be one. Um, when we look at clients and our sales team reach out to clients, they do research on who the client is and their skills that they can bring into a project. Or I think that also plays a role when you look at strategies. Um, Having diverse interview panels maybe help eliminate unconscious biases, making the hiring process in certain instances more fair, and then providing the opportunities for growth. Equal opportunities for career development and advancements are vital. And conducting audits, offering career development resources, closing wage gaps. I know you've spoken to it a little bit earlier, and that's really a concern, and something that needs to look at and strategize actually, and then contributing to fostering an inclusive environment. Then another one I would say is offering benefits that support work-life balance, especially nowadays after COVID. We all know across the whole globe how important our health is, how important family is. And I think that's important as well. Um, Such as flexible schedules, remote work options. I know a lot of us either we have some hybrid options, or remotely, and then acknowledges and accommodates diverse needs, ultimately attracting and retaining top talent. Um, when you get to employee resource groups, or establishing those groups for women, it needs to
Right.
provide a safe space um, for discussion, for proposals where you propose improvements, ensuring that specific concerns are addressed at levels, top levels, senior levels of the organization.
Mhm.
Then, there are, I know of quite a few companies that are implementing mentoring programs, or they have especially women, but it doesn't matter, join a program, like for instance, Women in Localization, who has mentoring programs. And for instance, this is free, and this is just another strategy that you can implement. I don't know if that answers your question completely. I can go into that a little bit, but I'm not sure of time.
Yes, you have answered the question, Helga, and thank you for mentioning the initiative by women in localization. Adi also mentioned it a bit earlier, and I think that it's profound work, and it's something that we should all, try and join, to learn and to grow. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Tatiana. Thanks, Eddie.
Yes. Adi, would you like to speak on return on investment? How exactly are we going to measure it and know that what we are putting into an individual or a woman, at the end of the day, we are making something out of it, or there's a ripple effect of it?
All right, thank you very much. So I'm going to use myself as an example once again. So after I did my Bachelor of Arts degree in journalism or communication studies in Ghana, I was fortunate enough to get a scholarship from the African Union to study for a Master of Arts degree in conference interpreting. And after that, I had the opportunity to set up this business, Bilingual Consult, and I'm now a business owner. So this is just like the reality. Like, I'm just an example of when you invest in women, what you can have back, because we are very resourceful, right? We are able to turn things around and make things happen and change a lot of things. And I think a lot of us here on the panel are also examples of that. Rebecca spoke about how she's a product of mentorship. And so it actually comes out in various ways. And yeah, and I'm just an example of that. So it's, for me, we always get the return. And especially when whoever is being invested in is serious, is dedicated and committed to kind of harnessing the opportunity. It's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. This has been really fantastic. So I'm just going to move on to one comment. Um, Okay, by Gabriel Ofuri. He's saying that I think he was talking about technology and saying that ChatGPT has had a significant impact on students' language skills, providing valuable support and enhancing their proficiency. And he wishes us all a happy International Women's Day. Thank you so much, Gabriel. Thank you so much for sharing. So, I mean, when it comes to ChatGPT, sometimes I don't really want to have that discussion because I mean you get one school of thought saying that I mean this thing is destroying us, and then you get another school of thought saying that it is helping us.
It
But I
is.
think that overall technology can be positive or negative depending on how you use or utilize it. So if you have any questions, this is open to all attendees. Kindly post your questions in the chat. Let's deliberate on your questions. Anything that has been said that intrigues you, kindly share them, and would like to have some discussions on that. But just before we go back there, what is the way forward? So today is International Women's Day, and we're all excited about it. And the global theme says that invest in women, accelerate growth. Now, what is the way forward between now and 2025? What can we do we have spoken about so many things. You have shared your success stories, and I I I think that we can also do something. So what can we do? What would you do in your own way, in your own small way to, you know, empower a woman or empower women in this industry? Lexi?
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I have personally been thinking of this. There are still institutions undergoing translation training programs, and they are doing it the very archaic way. So you realize that when the students step out, they don't have a solid ground. They have no idea what's going on out there. So you give a student who is in your office to intern a document, and it's just a new thing. It seems as if the person didn't go under any training at all. And so I personally would love to visit such institutions and partner with them. I know this wouldn't be just women, but in if we'll be realistic, most of the language institutions we have about 90% women undergoing the training. In my institutions, for instance, that's Ghana Institute of Languages. Back then, we're about, should I say, close to 50. Within this number, you can say women were about 40. Yeah. So by doing so, I'm going to impact a lot of women. I intend to um, give them the platform to have their give them an opportunity to intern with us. At the same time, collaborate with the institute to have training programs where we can introduce them to the various CAT tools, the computer assisted translation training programs. There are other UN career training programs online that they could even sign on while they are in school to learn. There are training programs like language technology. There's this app. It's called Tandem. When you join this app, you can communicate with people outside the country. So if you are not fortunate to go for a year abroad and do language immersion online, thanks to technology, you can also immerse with other people online. And so these are things I have
Great.
observed, and this is what I can also do to help and then support the upcoming linguists, women linguists.
Okay, okay, Lexi. Thank you so much for sharing. And we are going to hold you to to what you have said. Next year we would expect to see that you have churned out some really fantastic interns from your company. And we'll also have them, on a program like this to tell us their experiences. Thank you. Just before the other panelists share, we have a question from Philip, asking what can be done to motivate women to take up roles in companies and in society. Women in the part or in this part of the world are trained to shy away from taking up opportunities. How can this be reverted? Adi?
That's an interesting question, but I would say that the trend is changing, right? There are many women who are now very bold and taking up the spaces that they have to take up. But there is still the concept of glass ceiling, where even the women that are striving together still face some issues in reaching, where they have to reach to. So, yeah, I think it's a matter of time, just like every struggle that we've had in the world. It's a matter of time, but I think that I'm positive that it's changing. The women are getting more confident and taking up roles and also setting up businesses. And if I may answer the question you
Yes.
asked about what we can, right?
Yes.
So first of all, the
The
interesting
way
thing is
forward.
that the language services industry is made up majorly like of women, right? It has more women than men. That has been revealed by research. However, you would see that there are less women than men who own businesses. So lots of women are working in the industry, but more women more men rather own businesses as compared to women. So I think one key thing that I'm committed to doing is to ensure that we have more women business owners in industry that are willing to be part of ALCA, the Association of Language Companies in Africa, so that we become stronger as well. And also, I am really open and looking forward to women in localization coming to Africa, and I'm open to supporting them set up here because it's true that there are few women owning businesses and working, but I think we are kind of working in silos. So we need that space where we can come together and think about how we can grow the industry and how we can be more robust and stronger. So really looking forward to that opportunity as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Adi. So, Philip, Adi answered your question saying that, I mean, we are getting there, and gradually we are having women take up the spotlight and take up roles in companies. I don't think it's been easy, but we are getting there, and so we'll keep encouraging ourselves as women, and then we'll keep growing and impacting our world. And Adi, thank you for speaking about ALCA and our initiatives to also promote businesses, female-led businesses as well. That's right. That's really one of the things that we seek to do. So, Rebecca, tell us, what's the way forward for you? What do you intend to do a year from now? We would hold you to your yes, please share.
I think I'll focus on empowering and providing mentorship services to most young ladies out there, because I know there are so many young ladies out there who are pursuing courses in modern languages, in African languages, and are wondering what to do next. What is the next step to take? Because I mean, you have criticisms coming from everywhere telling you, what are you learning languages for? What is the essence of this language? Are you going to be a teacher? There are so many opportunities out there for young ladies, for women linguists, and I think I'll focus on doing that, teaching them, and then mentoring them, empowering them to know that there are so many opportunities they can grab and also focus on. And apart from that, just as Lexi mentioned, computer assisted translation. I can't emphasize that enough. In most schools, I'm a recent graduate of the Pan African University, and when you look at our curriculum, it's still the archaic style. I mean, there's even though we are taught cartoons, you realize that it is still not involved. I mean, it's not included in the curriculum. So I also look at emphasizing on that and training more women to also have broader knowledge. I mean, a broad knowledge when it comes to CAT tools in translation. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. So I have a question here, and Mary is asking if there are institutions where women, and I think that's a general question, where women in general can go for mentorship. Um, would anyone like to take that? Are you aware of any institutions where? Yes, Helga.
Sorry, Christiana. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear the question on that. Sorry.
Oh, sorry about that. So the question is, are there institutions where women can go for mentorship?
Yes, well, women in localization is definitely one, and the benefit of being a member is obviously it's free. That's a huge benefit. And then when you are a member, you immediately get the benefits of um, like you get networking events, you get a mentorship program where you specify what you're looking for. Is it, in instance, self-development? Do you need to go into a career change, for instance? Is it more work life that you're looking for? You determine the skill or what you're looking for, and then that's also obviously free. um, and then I know there are a few others as well that but I'm not too sure of how their process works, so I don't want to mention something that I'm not too fond of. And I know ALCA, you guys has also mentioned you are in the process of creating programs, right, Christiana? So it's definitely something to bookmark that website, because Even like ALCA and women in localization, another thing that Eddie actually made me think of when she answered the previous question is we as companies, as organizations can collaborate and actually help people out there develop more skills, get more training. And then, a lot of women think that they don't have the skills or they don't know that they can actually do something. And until you walk that journey with them, and then they realize and then they see their true worth. That is something that's amazing for me. And I think that is one of the reasons I mentor. So it's definitely a passion, and I think it's something that all women, do that for just once in a year, and you will see how that changes your mindset, your being a little bit more positive. You look at the world differently.
All right. Great. So all women should take note of these, that women in localization, and the good thing is that we're in partnership, ALCA is in partnership with Women in Localization, and we're going to be offering so many programs, engaging women in the industry to ensure that there is growth and actual development. So you have to stay tuned, stay glued to our website, our social media handles, for information on that, and the good work that Women in Localization is doing, their mentorship program. I think that these are all very important for us. You've shared the way forward, and for ALCA, our way forward is to ensure that we engage language service providers all over the continent of Africa, because we want to be that umbrella. In fact, we are that umbrella for all language service providers. Let's come together. All that we have discussed, I believe, cannot just be done by one person or two people. It's a collective effort. And so, in
Yes.
our small ways, we would be, promoting knowledge sharing, we would be networking, but then we all collectively have to come together, hold our hands as women, and grow. And so, I'm really excited about this webinar. I don't know if there are any questions. Okay. Okay. We do not have any other questions. I'm really excited about today's webinar, that you have shared your insights, you have shared your stories, and I think that I might as well share, because I'm also sitting here. I think when Philip spoke about shy people, I happen to be one of them, but I'm out here and I'm speaking because I had the opportunity. And so more women out there, let's go get it. Let's push ourselves. Let's endeavor to be great and make this industry grow. Thank you so much. I would like to ask Lexi, you've been quiet for a while, if you'd like to say some final words before we end the webinar for today. I think you're
Thank you
muted.
very much, Christine. So, in conclusion, I would say strategic investments in empowering women linguists um, drive both individual success and industry excellence. So the fusion of career advancement, leadership opportunities, and cutting edge technologies not only elevates professionals but also propels language industry towards future, the future marked by diversity, innovation, and global competitiveness. Yeah, so in a nutshell, let's hold each other's hands and invest in each other, partner with each other, and let's grow together. So let's take risks, let's learn, and let's grow. That's what I want to leave with you.
Let's take risk, let's learn, let's grow. Rebecca, your final words.
Thank you. So what I would say is that strategic investment will, in the end, foster innovation, and it will equally elevate industry standards when it comes to language service providers. So let's go out there and keep, empowering women, keep motivating women, keep investing beyond financial investment, and looking at other aspects where we can elevate women and ensure inclusion. Thank you.
Okay, Adi, your final words, please.
All right. So what I would say is that we should be unapologetic when we are investing in ourselves, because sometimes, especially within the context of Africa, sometimes when we are investing in ourselves as women, maybe we're taking time off for studies, or we are doing things that will promote our career, we sometimes feel guilty because we have other commitment. But the truth is that these investments always come back to us. They always make us very useful and more, how can I put it, more useful to our environment and to the people around us. So when there are opportunities for us to invest in ourselves, let's not feel shy or feel guilty. Let's go in all out and make things happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let's go in. Let's go all out. Let's take the risk. Let's make it happen. Helga, finally, your final
Yes,
words for today.
yes, thank you, Christiana. I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to be part, sorry, of a community that really shares my passion as well for connecting cultures and driving industry innovation. And as we continue to navigate a really ever-changing landscape of global commerce, um, let us remain steadfast in our commitment to building bridges and fostering understanding. And then together we have the power to shape a world where diversity is celebrated and communication knows no bounds.
Fantastic. Very well said. Thank you all so much. I'd like to thank all our attendees for your time and, for engaging with us. This has been really insightful. One of the things that I would like to leave with us is to take action. I mean, we can discuss and say all these wonderful things. But I'm hoping that a year from now, when we meet again to discuss, we'll have some of Lexi Sharon's intents to also share with us. Would have, some mentees from Women in Localization, would have them all sharing the good work that has been done by our panelists and as well as our attendees. Thank you so much. I'd like to wish us all a happy International Women's Day. Women, we rock, and we have to go out there and keep rocking and making it big. Thank you so much again. My name is Christiana Abuaje. I am the coordinator for the Association of Language Companies in Africa. And right before we leave, I'd like to say that please take advantage of our 10% discount on full membership. If you haven't, I don't know what you're waiting for. Do take advantage of it now before the time runs out, because it ends on the 31st of March. Please take advantage of it. And thank you all so much for joining. Have a lovely weekend. And it's bye from us. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. I was thinking we were going to take a picture, a family picture.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
yay. Okay. Family picture it is.
Yeah.
Well,
Should we call it
I
a
see, I
networking
see,
picture?
I see Rebecca posing for the camera and ready for the
Oh,
picture.
yeah.
So okay, so what do we say? Accelerate. In
Okay.
five, four, three, two, one. Accelerate.
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 Great. Thank you all so much. I have a beautiful shot, and I'll share with you later. Okay.
Okay.
Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Thank
Elaine.
you.
Bye.
Bye.